Hello everybody, and today we are going to explore the timeline in Campfire Blaze. Campfire Blaze's timeline can help you plot your story from a bird's eye view. You can create events, organize them into plot lines, and link them to other Blaze elements like characters and locations. This is a fairly long tutorial as there's a lot of functionality to go over in our new timeline module. Here's the order of subjects we will cover. You can find timestamps below if you want to skip around. When you load the timeline for the first time, the first thing you'll want to do is adjust your settings depending on the type of timeline you want to make. To do this, click the drop-down icon at the top right and choose Edit Timeline. Let's say that my story takes place from 2015 to 2020 with some flashbacks in 1990. First, I'll set my timeline to begin in 1989 and end in 2021 so that all my events appear within this time frame. Then, since the majority of my story takes place from 2015 to 2020, I'll set the focus period to that range. For units of time, I'll stick with the standard Gregorian timeline, and for measurement of time, I'll choose days, since I don't want to see the exact time that my events are taking place. Next are eras. These are meant to represent the major segments of time in the world of your story, like CE and BCE in our world. Since my story takes place in our modern world, I'm going to leave those as is. Below eras, you can find sections. Sections are useful to break up your timeline into chronological parts. To create a section, click the New Section button. You can edit the name, color, and start and end dates of the section. I'm going to add 3 sections, one for each act in my story. Once you're done, click the X icon to close the window. You'll see in the chronological timeline bar that your timeline is now broken up into these sections. The next step is to create a few plot lines. You'll see that one plot line named Main Plot comes built in. Let's keep that one and then add another one named Subplot. You can add a plot line via the Add Plotline button at the top or with the Add Folder icon in the sidebar. To rename a plot line, click its title to enter edit mode. Also notice the icons on the right hand side, which you can use to go full screen, hide, move, or delete the plotline. We'll take a look at full screen in more detail later, but the other 3 options are pretty straightforward. Now let's add events to our timeline. To add an event, click the Add Event button at the top or the plus icon in the sidebar. You can click the title of the new event panel to change the event's name. You can also click the date to change when the event takes place. I'm going to set this event to take place on June 14th, 2015. Once you change the date of the event, you'll see that it appears on the chronological timeline at the top of the screen. If you click its indicator, you can see its name, date, and description. Next, I want to add a few more events to my story, so I'll do that now. Okay, next I want to edit the details of one of my events. To edit an event, just double-click its panel. This opens up the event view where you can set its image and description and add panels with information about what happens in the event. If you've set a color value in the basic info panel, your event panel will display with a border of that color. If you uploaded an image, you can choose Show Image in the event's drop-down menu to show the image right on the panel. Once you're done editing an event, you can click the arrow on the right-hand side of the screen to close the event view. This will bring you back to your timeline. Next, let's look at the Relationships feature on the timeline. Click the Relationships icon at the bottom right. This will reveal the color key, where you can create and select colors. Select a color, then hover your mouse over an event and draw a line from one of its connection ports to another event. This creates a flowchart style relationship between the two. To add more colors, just click the Manage Colors button at the top right of the color key, and then choose Add Color. You can add multiple colors and reorganize them however you like. You can also choose the two-way icon to change whether the connection should have a one-way arrow or not. Above the Relationships button at the bottom right, you'll see 2 zoom buttons. You can use these buttons to zoom your entire timeline in and out. That's the basic functionality of the timeline, but let's take a look at a few more advanced features. Let's say I want to view one of my plot lines in more detail. Click the title of the plot line and then choose the full screen icon on the right hand side. This will expand the plot line to take up the entire canvas. I can then drag my events around and reorganize them with all this extra space. When you close the focus view, your plotline will collapse back to its normal size. Just keep in mind that while the focus view provides more vertical space to work with, the horizontal space is still the same as in the unfocused view. So if you move an event from left to right in the focus view, it'll also be moved from left to right when you unfocus the plotline. The expanded view lets you navigate through your timeline chronologically. To open this view, click the drop-down at the top right and choose Expand Timeline. You'll then see all of your events listed chronologically. You can click the event indicators to hide or show their basic information. To navigate through this view, you can use the arrows on the left and right to move through time. You can also use the zoom buttons at the top left to zoom in and out. Once you're done, click the X icon to exit the window. There are two ways to search for events on the timeline: normal search and advanced search. For normal search, just click the search icon at the top right and type in a search query. Your timeline will be filtered in real time to reveal which events match the query. You can also hit the enter key to open up the full list of search results. To perform an advanced search, click the drop-down at the top right and choose Advanced Search. Here you can also search by linked elements and dates, in addition to the normal search query. Click the search button to view the search results. That wraps up our timeline tutorial. We're really excited to bring you this module, and we hope you love it. Let us know in the comments what you think or if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.